Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghost Media's Spooky Talk with Madison Smith from Madison Paranormal. Spooky Talk. You can find Spooky Talk every other Sunday, 6 Eastern, 5 Central, right here live on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to join in the live interactive chat by going to Spreaker.com or downloading the Spreaker app for all devices.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
And here's your host, Madison Smith.
Hi everyone, I'm Madison Smith. I'd like to welcome you all to Spooky Talk with Maddie. Tonight's guest is someone I have not had the pleasure of meeting yet. She's a supernatural enthusiast, paranormal researcher. Her past involvement in the field include Week in the Weird and Hunting the Haunted, and she is also an avid MMA fighter with Burgess. Sorry if I slaughtered that name. MMA. Please give a spoopy welcome to Melody Knapp of Ghost Finders.
Hi, Madison. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. I do want to just start by saying I am not an MMA fighter whatsoever.
Okay.
So I train mixed martial arts, but I've never gotten in the cage for like a real like MMA fight.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's totally okay. But that is a fun fact about me. I do train MMA. I would like to one day. I'm just not there yet.
All right. Well, the more I know.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, would you like to start telling us a little bit about yourself? You know, what you like to do for fun, how you are today?
Yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Melody Knapp. I am a paranormal investigator on the Ghost Finders currently, which is a show that streams on Paraflix. I guess what I like to do for fun is I like to train MMA. That's like a big part of my life. I have a 2.5-year-old son named Matrix, who's just like the best thing in the entire world. He's just like so energetic and happy and challenges me in the best ways possible. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much like me in a nutshell. I like music and all that regular stuff. Yeah.
What's your favorite genre of music?
Ooh, favorite genre. I would have to say it's like actually very specific. So it would be 2006 emo alternative music. / like,
of course.
Yeah, like emo pop punk. Like that's what I grew up with, right? Like the Used, freaking like, oh my gosh, all those bands are my favorite. Like they're the albums I still listen to this day. Like it's crazy how my music taste has like not changed since 2006.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone has an album that they just carry out throughout their life.
Oh, of course, yep.
Like, you know, like I do, you do, a lot of people that I know do. So, I think it's just pretty normal.
What's your favorite music, Maddie?
Kind of just depends. Mm-hmm. But my favorite, like, band or some sort is, like, Oingo Boingo. Love Oingo Boingo.
I have never heard of them, so I just want you to know, like, the second we're off this, I'm going to have to Google it.
You've never heard, like...
You have to text me what the name of the band is, too, so I don't mess it up.
I got you.
Yeah.
I can give you like the full album because I have like 13 of them downloaded.
Absolutely.
All right. So shall we begin the questioning journey?
Oh, let's go. I'm ready for you, girl. Hit me.
Okay. So what was your first paranormal experience and where was it?
All right. So my first paranormal experience was in Massachusetts, which I am a New England-based investigator. I grew up, was born and grew up in New Hampshire. So all the New England areas are really like where my heart is. It's where I began investigating. It's where I learned a lot of like my technique and met so many different people. So like this first experience, it happened in Massachusetts. I'm not going to disclose where in Massachusetts, but it did happen at like a closed down old it was kind of like a boarding school / insane asylum. It's like where they would drop off kids that like they just didn't want anymore, like they didn't have a place for. So I went, it was like the middle of October. I was like 17, 18 years old, and I remember it so well because it was like the creepiest night ever. There was like a full moon, and I just like, I had this like passion. Like I had always been interested in the paranormal and investigating. I had watched all of those like ghost hunters and ghost adventure shows. Like, and I was like, I really admired like Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures, especially because he was from New Hampshire, which is where I'm from. So I really like resonated with that. So anyway, so I went on this little adventure, and like, lo and behold, it would be like one of my most insane experiences right off the bat. So I walk onto the property of this place. It's a full moon. It's like super creepy. Like you hear all these bugs, and then you pass a certain point and it was complete silence, right? Like you couldn't even hear a cricket. And I remember being like, okay, that's not supposed to happen. Like that makes absolutely no sense how you can just be standing somewhere, hear all of this like nature and wildlife, and take one step and it's dead air.
Yeah.
Thick, dead air. So anyway, I started like walking down this path, and a couple other things had happened, like, you know what I mean? Like jump factor things that I don't feel comfortable saying were like truly like unexplained phenomena. I think there could have been things. But like later on this happened. So I'm walking down this path, and I have this building to the left of me. And then like these big rocks and like this gate. Okay, so I'm walking down this path, and to the left, out of the bulkhead, runs this creature, and it runs so fast. Like from what I remember so long ago, is it ran so fast. I'll never forget it. I could hear it on the ground, like its feet moving. And I remember it being hunched so low to the ground. For it to have been running that fast, it just logically didn't make any sense to me. It stopped, looked at me, turned, ran away, and like disappeared in front of my eyes. And that was my very first paranormal, like unexplained event, occurrence, experience, whatever you want to call it. And that just like got me to dive in to the field. Because I was like, what the heck was that?
Yeah, like I would have been confused too. That sounds
Oh, yeah. And I've never seen anything like that since. Like, it's wild. And I've been to some creepy, creepy places that are claimed to be demonic, what have you. I've never come across it since, but I'll never forget that first experience because, like, that's what kind of, like, keeps me going, especially, like, when you're in the field for a little bit, like, you start hearing about people, like, fighting and, like, the team drama and all that crap. And, like, sometimes it can get disheartening and, like, you want to leave the field. It's moments like that when I think back to that very first time, like that question that I had, that thirst for knowledge of like, what was this experience? What could it possibly be? That's what keeps me doing it. That's what keeps me on the edge, like still going full force, you know? It's that. It's like, what is it? What causes it?
Yeah.
You know?
And then have you ever gone back?
So, funny fact, no, I have not been back. I have not been back. It's been like 13, 14 years. I don't even know if I'm doing math right. It might be 12. I don't know. I'll have to get a better number for you. I'm really bad at math. I was like 17, 18, and I'm 30 now. So, But yeah, like I've never been back. That's like on my bucket list. I would love to go back.
Yeah, like I would have been back in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So like, did you make it inside or did you just like completely stop?
No, I was kind of so the reason I won't say where it is because I was sort of urban exploring before I got involved in the field. Like it's what I did like as a kid, you know, but like I never broke in anywhere. That's been like a big thing that I've always stood true to, and I've never broken into anywhere that I've explored when I used to do urban exploring. Now I strictly just investigate locations that the owners or property managers know that I'm there, and they've either asked me to be there or my team is like filming there. So yeah. So no, it was completely outside. I was outside of the building when it happened, and I never went inside, but I would love to get into those buildings.
And then was that like how many buildings have you been urban exploring?
I've only been to like probably 3. I would say 3 different buildings because it was really quick in my journey that I had that experience, and then I got on a team and started investigating. I don't want to say like professionally, but the correct way, following the correct method of, you know what I mean, protocol when it comes to going to locations and such.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like running onto a graveyard at 11 o'clock at night, trying not to get arrested by the cops.
Yeah, like where I live, I don't think that's really a problem with like people breaking in because there's only like 3 places that are like truly abandoned.
Right.
And no one cares if you're in them. So
makes it easy.
Yeah. Plus, we have like really nice security around the cemeteries, so we're good.
Perfect.
So, what's like your favorite place to go? Like hospitals or like battlegrounds? That type of nature.
So the type of location. I mean, something that really gets me is the sanitariums and like the hospitals. It just like, it has this, you know what? No, I'm changing my answer. Insane asylums. Places like that. Okay. Like the energy you feel, not just when you walk on the property. I mean, like when you're driving up to the property, you can start to feel it. It's like a pain in your heart. Like it's so heavy. And it's just very tormented. It's tormented energy. It's confused energy. It's pained energy. And I don't know. Those are like my favorite places because it's like where I feel like I can kind of get like some kind of give some kind of like relief to the spirits. You know what I mean? Like give some kind of comfort that like, you know, you're not alone and you don't have to suffer anymore kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I like the same exact answer. Like I love anything that's like medical.
Yes. Yeah. Because, I mean, if you think about it, like anyone in a hospital, like those are your most vulnerable. It's your sick. It's your kids, your elderly. It's the people that like need help the most. And unfortunately, back in like the times when like those asylums were prosperous, I guess, like quote unquote, they just did not treat them well whatsoever. And it was like the most vulnerable people that needed help. And that's like the last thing they got, you know? It's hard.
Like it's just hard to think that they went there looking for help and they got like the exact opposite.
Yep. And I find it interesting too because like when investigators go to these places and they come across what they want to immediately claim as like demonic energy, they fail to think about the things that these human spirits went through in their living, you know what I mean, their human body. Before they passed on. And sometimes people get bitter. Like we're all human, right? Like we have the full spectrum of emotions. I believe that we are capable of having that full spectrum of emotions and possibly more on the other side. So going through something traumatic like that could potentially cause you to become bitter and angry, causing you to then be like a little mean to people when they come back to these asylums, right? doesn't mean it's demonic. I think that's actually like a cry for help and something that could be better suited to be approached that way than like, who's the person shoving people in this hallway? You know? Does that make any sense? I don't. That's why they're my favorite, because I feel like they're like we're on the precipice of a really big switch in how we approach those kind of locations, which I think will be really good.
Yeah. Like, I fully agree with everything that you just said. Like, I just fully agree.
You're the best, Madison. Can I just, like, side note? So I was supposed to meet Madison, DeadCon, right? Were you at DeadCon? Was that where we were at? At DeadCon, and I ended up not being able to go, which was awful. And I got all these pictures of Madison with the whole team, and I was like, guys, you got to Photoshop me in there. I feel so jealous.
The fact that I Photoshop myself in, like, everything for no reason.
Perfect. It's perfect. I have zero skills in Photoshop, so you embrace it, girlfriend. Like, I'm here for it. And
like, I know the basics.
You sent me the most beautiful Christmas card, and it's like, it was hanging on my fridge for the longest time.
That's Lucille for you.
Hey!
Yeah. Like, the Christmas cards, side note. Once again, like, I love the Christmas cards.
It's a lost tradition. I think it's a really nice touch, you know, to get something in the mail like that and you can hang it up. I mean, for me growing up, my parents always had Christmas cards on the door. It was like a tradition every year.
Yeah. Like, we have this closet door that we used to put, like, every single Christmas card on.
Yes. That was what we did.
And, like, every single holiday, we used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just funny to think, like, everyone has, like, a Santa card or, like, a snow card, and then they just get mine. It's just a picture of me.
Oh, it was perfect.
Like a Halloween makeup, like, hey, guys, guess who's breaking in?
I loved it. It was perfect. It adds, like, that little bit of spice you need into the mix.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
The little, Halloween isn't over, guys.
No.
We're still here.
Halloween is never over. That is a year-long thing.
Thank you. That's how I feel.
Yep.
Like, I love Halloween.
Me too. Me too. All right, what else you got for me?
What's your favorite part of Halloween? Like, do you like the scary movies, the trick-or-treating?
So that's so hard because Halloween is, like, rooted in my entire being. I want to say it's just like the entire aesthetic of it because that is my vibe. You know what I mean? I love the crispy leaves. Like, I love horror movies. I love candy. I love dressing up. I'm all about it. I love crazy makeup, wigs, everything. I don't know, like, love haunted houses. Obviously, it's
same
embodiment of like how I live my life 24/7. It's just more acceptable, and I have a little bit more options at the store when I go, which is very yeah, exactly. But that's probably my favorite part. It's like just the whole aesthetic of it, the core being of Halloween.
Of course.
It is a lifestyle.
No, I remember this one Halloween, I was walking, like, with a group of friends, and we saw this black cat, and we all freaked out.
Oh, no.
And I was the only one brave enough to, like, go near it.
Perfect. Black cats are the best cat, and they're always, like, the nicest ones, too.
I know. And then everyone's always like, oh, they're bad luck. And then, like, they bring the best luck. Like,
no.
Like, guys, I appreciate you mixed it up.
That's so funny.
No, like, I'm serious. Like, everyone's always like, oh, they're bad luck. And then, like, the very next day, you'll find, like, $20 on the ground.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not bad luck at all. It's one of those superstitions.
Kind of like the broken mirror and walking underneath a ladder. Isn't that one?
Right. I think one day I'll challenge myself to just complete all of them and see what happens.
I'll do it with you.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, I've already broken, like, 3 mirrors in my life, so.
No.
I've got it covered.
With them, I break them all the time. So, got one down.
Mm-hmm. No, like, I can break anything.
Uh-huh.
Like, just by accident.
It's all right. Us clumsy girls have to unite together. Stand strong.
We
Because
shall
that
be.
is me. I am super clumsy all the time.
Mm-hmm. No, and then, do you ever just, like, trip over air?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Or like, yep, my own feet. Yep. All the time. Quite frequently.
That's me. Like, 24/7.
Yes.
No, like, I'll literally trip going up the stairs. And it's so funny.
All right.
But yeah.
It gets better.
All right. Back to the normal questions, guys. We're going back on the train tracks. We're good.
All right. We're back.
Okay. We're back on the side rant. All right. So, were people, like, okay with you doing the paranormal stuff, like family and friends? Or were they more like, do you want to do this? Like, really?
So, funny story. No, my family have been super supportive, like, the entire time, especially because I've always had, like, this crazy interest in the subject. So when I said that I wanted to go out there and, like, actually, like, pursue it, they were like, go for it. Like, that's what life's about, right? And the first team that I joined was actually my cousin's team, New Hampshire Project Paranormal. And that's where I started filming Hunting the Haunted with him. Eric Knapp and Mindy, those are my cousins. So that was actually my introduction into the field. It was family, a family team.
I wish, like, if I could just have, like, a group of, like, friends that would do it with me, it would be, like, so amazing.
You're doing the first step, which is just doing it, and then people will want to join you. You know? Yeah.
Like, I want to support people, like, my age getting into it. Because I know a lot of kids want to do it, but then, like, they don't get to. Kind of thing.
They should. I think it's incredible. It's an amazing hobby, and I think it's a subject that it's going to be you guys and, like, the younger generations that are going to have probably far more progress than we, like, people my age, are going to have, because you will have more answers from more people doing more experiments, at locations and diving deeper, which is what the field needs.
Carrying on the legacy, everyone.
Exactly. You are the future of the paranormal. I absolutely love it. So I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, so hard that a bunch of young people want to go out with you and, like, make these teams and just do it. Like, it's so great.
I'm literally gonna, like, I'm just gonna text my friends and be like, yo, I will pay for dinner, but you're coming with me.
Exactly. Buy some pizza.
I know, like,
oh, that's the way to do it.
Because I know, like, a bunch of friends. If I offer to pay for food, they'll be there.
Yep. That's normally me, too. Like, if food is involved, like, you can count on me to be there, pretty much.
That's me.
Like, I'm that annoying person when Heather's like, oh, we booked this beautiful location for us to film at. And I'm like, okay, so, like, what are the options for us to eat in the area? Because those are my priorities.
That's how I am.
You know, hey, I'm at the location. I get it. Like, when I'm there, I'm, like, full in. But I'm also traveling out of state. And, like, I need to know my food options for when I'm in the hotel before we get there, right? Like, I like to eat. I like to eat some good food.
That's literally how I am.
I have a really funny story. The last time that we filmed for the Ghost Finders down in Virginia, I actually, Dan and I, Dan Class, who owns the Hinsdale House, who's on the team, you know, we carpooled down. It was like a 9-hour drive from New York down to Virginia. And he wanted sushi so bad when we got to Virginia. And I strong-armed him into getting, like, the best barbecue food I've ever gotten in my entire life. And it was so good. And he was like, he was laughing so hard because it was, like, all I wanted in my heart was the barbecue food.
The fact that I would, like, be right there with you.
Yep. He's like, I really just want some sushi. And I'm like, there's no part of me that wants sushi. I really think we should choose barbecue.
You're just pulling up, like, a full slideshow presentation of reasons to get barbecue.
Absolutely. I had 9 hours to prepare. And 9 hours to prepare. I was so ready for that argument. And I did win. Although the consequences were he posted a ton of embarrassing pictures of me eating the barbecue food, but that's a different story.
Was it worth it?
It was totally worth it. I will do it again. Probably soon. Yeah.
I'll do it with you. I'll be there.
I knew we would get along, Madison. I knew it.
What can I say? Food is like something that can just unite everyone.
It can, just like the paranormal.
Exactly. Like, if you don't like paranormal, how could you not like food?
Exactly.
All right. So, I like how we go from, like, a professional question just like, okay, what's your favorite food?
No, it's okay.
Honestly, that's how all my shows are, so I can't even say anything. Like,
it's fun. It makes it fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, for me, I just try to have, like, a normal conversation, not just, like, so, tell me.
Question, answer.
Yeah, for me, like, I go way off the tracks, and then I come back, and I'm like, how the heck did we go from this to Build-A-Bear, guys?
Right.
This is a bit concerning. All right. So, what's some, like, upcoming stuff that you're really excited for?
Upcoming stuff. So I have an event with Flumery Productions. They do, like, promotions down in, like, the South mainly. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I do have an event coming up with them in April. In May, I will be in Salem, Massachusetts at SalemCon. I believe it's the 21st through the 23rd, but don't quote me on that. SalemCon. I will be doing a lecture series and also be at the VIP party that Friday night. And I will also be leading groups of people on the investigations later that night as well. So that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited. And yeah, I'm sure I've got some other things coming up as well. It's just totally left in my brain. I know we do have some filming coming up for the Ghost Finders come springtime. We've taken like a couple months off for the holidays to kind of like get settled, but it's go time for us to get some new content out there for you guys. Yeah.
So excited.
So excited.
Just like the little cheer, just woo.
Yes.
All right. So, throughout your whole time investigating, who would you say mentored you the most?
Who has mentored me the most? Well, it's kind of like it takes a village, right? Like, I've had so many inspirational people like help me along this journey. To start, like my cousin Eric, he took me under his wing. He let me on his team, and he kind of like showed me the ropes, like from the bottom up. Like I was part of like the tech crew. I would run wires, do all that basic stuff, like do the baseline sweeps before we'd even talk to the family, like all that kind of stuff. So I mean, my cousin Eric was definitely a huge inspiration and has helped mentor me along the way. There's been some other people like Mark Arvilla who runs SalemCon. He's been great. He's helped me like a lot, like in the field and outside of the field too, like, as a friend. Sam Baltrusis, another one. He's like a phenomenal author, paranormal author and speaker. He's also a TV producer, and he's been a magnificent help, like guiding help throughout this journey on staying true to myself and like true to why I'm in the field. You know what I mean? And then honestly, like Dan Klaus from the Hinsdale House. He's been like a huge mentor and friend to me. You know, when we met, it just like he has never given up on me. You know what I mean? Like he's like the true definition of like a friend and someone who has helped me, and he does help me quite a bit. And he tells me like the hard truths that sometimes I might not want to hear, but I definitely need to, you know? But it takes a village. I've had so many mentors and like wonderful, wonderful people help me along the way. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, it takes a village, you know, because there's not just like one person. So
no. And like the cool thing is like learning from different people who come from different avenues and have different specialties. Like, you know, I'm not a medium, so I gain a lot of useful information from my medium friends because that's an area I just don't know much about.
Yeah.
You know?
Plus, then you have like different techniques, and then you'll just pick them up, kind of thing. You know?
Exactly. It's all learning. It's all evolving, and like that's what I love the most about the field is it's not stagnant. It's not just like this textbook that you can like throw down and like read in a weekend and like you know everything about it. Like we actually know much nothing about it. Everything is unknown, and that's just so fascinating to me, especially that people actually put a lot of significant time into this. We know there's stuff there. Why can't we prove it?
Yeah.
You know, it's insanity to me.
But hey, it's just something to, you know, work on in the future, you know?
Hey, it gives us more time, right? More time
Gives
to
us
do
checkpoints. What we need to figure out.
Yep.
All right. So, what was like the craziest experience other than the creature?
Okay, so I have a good one from the Hinsdale House. You want that one?
Of course. I'll take any of them, so.
So, the Hinsdale House. For anyone who does not know me and has been listening thus far, first off, thank you. That's incredible. Second off, I love the Hinsdale House. It's my favorite haunted location. It's obviously where I met Dan all those years ago, as he is the owner of the Hinsdale House. But back in 2016, I hosted a public event there where people could come buy tickets, and I would like give them a tour of the house and investigate with them. So I had went up to the Hinsdale House. It's about an 8.5, 9-hour drive from where I live in New Hampshire. I went up there probably like a month before the event just to kind of like shoot promo reels, get comfortable with the location. It was before it was like a super big like touristy hotspot, you know what I mean? So it was like just in the middle of the woods, and I just went there and like spent a couple of days by myself. And it was before like the luxury of like heat and plumbing and like all of the wonderful things that Dan has put into the Hinsdale House since then. But anyway, so night one, I was there with the person who was co-hosting the event with me, and her and I were just staying in the house by ourselves, and we started hearing running upstairs, which we're both like, what the heck? Like, that is such a small house. You don't run upstairs. There's nowhere to run up the stairs. Mm-hmm. Like, if you've ever been to the Hinsdale House, it is a very tiny, it's pretty much like the equivalent of like one actual full-size room just divvied up into like 2 smaller rooms and then like another room and like a little closet. Like that is the upstairs Hinsdale House. It's very small. But you were hearing running, like stomp, stomp, stomp. And we were hearing banging on the windows, but it sounded like someone was coming up and going bang, like 2 hands. And we'd look at that window and then it would happen behind us. And we'd look at that window and then it would happen at the window behind us. And we'd look and it was crazy. And then the house started to shake. And we were seeing shadow figures. And it was like one of the most insane experiences of my entire life because it was straight out of a movie. And I didn't even know stuff like that could actually happen. I didn't know houses could just randomly shake, like not caused by an earthquake or anything like that. You know? Part of me when it started thought that because we had posted that we were going up there to like shoot video and stuff, that someone like a creepy stalker from online or something was up there messing with us, but like it wasn't any of those things. If you looked at the cameras or anything, it was just us up there, you know? So
I could
that
never.
has to be it.
Like, I would actually just freeze and just sit there while it all just happened.
It's so
Like-
wild because, like, especially, like, as an investigator, like, I always say this, the most profound moments, when people have them, you freeze. Like, you don't act like you would. So, like, that very first experience I had a camera in my hand. When the creature ran out, I was frozen. That camera was facing the ground. It was on. It just didn't record any of it because I was trying to comprehend what my eyes were seeing. Because it's incomprehensible to the human mind, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, when the house was doing, like, it's just, you're so in such shock, like, pure just shock, because, like, we research and we investigate these things, right? But, like, when it actually happens to that extent, to that depth, because we spend so much time in dark basements talking to ourselves in the pitch black with nothing happening, that when it actually happens, like, it's kind of like, if you don't already have your stuff set up, you're kind of out of luck, because the second you rationalize, like, oh my gosh, and, like, turn it on, it's probably already stopped. The activity's stopped. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm, like, the crazy person, like, the second you get somewhere, set everything up. All cameras set up, digital recorder set out. You want to capture as much as you can. Yeah, it's a lot of evidence review, but guess what? That's part of it. That's part of paranormal investigating. It's where we capture, like, 90% of our stuff. It's on evidence review. Half the time you're not even in the room. It's when you leave. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I swear, like, it's always just, like, a second after you leave that it happens.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Every time. Every time. Or it happens right before you walk into the room, and you're like, what? Mm-hmm. What? What's happening?
No, then you'll go in there, and then it just all stops.
Mm-hmm. Or, like, you'll be somewhere like Sweet Spring Sanatorium, and, like, it'll just be, like, on the outskirts. Like, you'll hear it walking down the hallway, but then it'll just stop, and you're like, okay, you can walk a little bit further. Like, you don't have to just stand there like a creep halfway down the hall. Like, come on.
Come on, don't be shy. Come on.
Fine. It's fine. We're all here.
Honestly, like, I could never.
You could. You could. Stop saying you could never, because you could.
No, like, just imagine you're alone in, like, an abandoned sanatorium. You hear somebody coming your way.
Yeah.
You peek your head out. Someone's just standing there.
Yeah.
I would actually start crying.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. No. Probably not. You'd probably think someone was messing with you. That's normally where the brain goes. You're like, okay, who's doing this? And then when you realize it's not someone that is messing with you, like, okay, what is it?
I would literally, like, call someone so quick.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, come pick me up, please. I'm done.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy because, like, I don't even know if I can say this, but I guess I'm just going to say it. In a lot of the episodes that are coming up, for some reason, like, the new thing is to lock me into places by myself. And it's so funny because, like, every time when something starts happening, I get, like, really serious, and they have to bring out the bleeper because I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, who's messing with me? Like, you guys need to stop. Like, I'm trying to, like, actually do something here. Like, stop trying to scare me. It's not funny. And they're all like, Melody, we're, like, a mile down the road. Relax. Like, it's not us. But that's always my go-to. I'm always like, okay, which one of you jerks are trying to mess with me right now? Every time.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Like, But still, like, why would they lock you in a room?
Oh, I'm a willing participant. It's good. It's good because, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times, like, when things happen, it's when you're isolated and by yourself. You know, you're more vulnerable. You're more susceptible to activity. And also you're more in tune with, like, what's going on around with you, because when there's other people in the rooms investigating with you, you're kind of, like, aware of them too. So it takes your awareness away from what you're actually focusing on, which is the investigation.
Yeah. That's really understandable.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like super sick, so I'm trying to like convey all this energy through a nasally, like disgusting note. So I apologize to you guys. I just get super passionate about it.
Honestly, you're fine. One episode, at the end of it, I literally couldn't finish my sentence.
Okay.
That's like how bad it was.
Oh yeah.
So you're completely fine.
Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts on kids investigating?
I think, as long as the intentions are good, which honestly goes for adults as well. Like, I'm a firm believer that, like, as long as you have good intentions, like, you're on the right path, like, please proceed. Like, you're welcome. Like, please, like, come on board. We need you. But I mean, like, they have to understand that, like, it is unknown and there could potentially be danger involved. So, I mean, as long as, like, there's, like, a healthy dialogue between the child and the parent and there's an understanding that the intention is pure and it's good, there's really nothing wrong with it. Like, my son, I'll never make him go on an investigation if he doesn't want to go. You know what I mean? If he wants to go, that's a discussion that we're going to have when I feel like he's at an appropriate age. And I don't even know what age that would be, like, it's kind of just, I think it's dependent on the person because everyone matures differently. But I think kids are a huge asset, especially because they are much more connected to the other side than adults are. You'll hear so many kids have experiences and then they just like forget about it or lose the ability to see their friend. You imagine friend, I think it could be a huge asset. It's definitely controversial. Definitely. Like, I was at a location when I was pregnant with Matrix, and I had a couple of people be like, is that okay? And I'm like, well, I'm an adult making a choice, and I think he's going to be fine. It's fine.
It's okay, guys. Trust me on this.
I promise.
No, and then is it just me? Or, like, whenever I watch a paranormal show, and the kid is, like, depicted to be like, oh, it's my imaginary friend.
Uh-huh.
And then the parent's always like, sweetie, what? Like, move out.
Yep.
Do you not see the signs? Like, I'm sorry, if my kid ever starts, like, if I even have a kid, if my kid ever starts, like, saying any of that, either I'm going to talk to it, or we're moving out.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not messing around.
No, I don't want anything in my home. I mean, we don't have much of a choice in it, but I try to make this like the safe space.
Yeah.
Like,
for me, I'm okay with it as long as it's not in a bad manner.
Exactly. And that's how I feel about a lot of it too. It's just whether or not I have the effort to put the work into it, which I don't normally in my home. My home is like my relaxation, like recharge station. So I don't have the energy to do that here, which is why I just like protect the heck out of it and just hope for the best because I just don't have the energy here.
Yeah. So, like, have you ever taken an animal on into an investigation or anything like that, or no?
So I have been on investigations with, like, canines. People have brought dogs and things like that. I can't say I've seen much benefit to it because, like, but I have not been on an investigation with, like, a trained dog. A dog specifically trained for that kind of activity, like search and rescue or anything like that. You know what I mean? Some like a dog that isn't just going to alert because they smell something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting. I mean, I'm open-minded, and I think that we should be doing everything we can, testing every theory, trying every experiment, going down every method avenue. What's stopping us? What are we missing? You know?
Well, now we know. We have to get a trained pupper onto the stage.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, like, I think that would be, like, amazing.
Hey, I'm here for it. If any of the higher ups are listening and want to get, like, a trained dog, that would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No, but, like, imagine you give the signal for them to, like, find someone, and then they just stop, like, in the middle of the hallway or somewhere, and they just stop.
That would be crazy.
I would actually, like, freeze and just walk away. Like,
I know,
goodbye.
Right?
I'm done.
At that point, no thank you. No thank you.
Okay, you've done your job. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, All right. So, back onto the food subject. What's your favorite, like, snacks and drinks to bring to an investigation?
Oh, I'm the worst. So I, over the last, like, year and a half, have, like, completely changed, like, my diet and nutrition. So I used to be, like, the unhealthiest person on an investigation. I would just drink, like, a bunch of Red Bull and eat, like, pizza and just feel like crap all the time. But now I've kind of, like, altered my diet on investigating, and I've noticed, like, a big change in how I feel and how it's affected my ability to sustain my energy levels throughout the night, right? So I try to, like, pack, like, healthy proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So I'll do, like, beef jerky. I'll do, like, little like pouches of, like, the tuna fish. I'll do, like, almonds, things like that to kind of, like, give me clean energy to help me throughout the night. Mm-hmm. And I drink a lot of water. Like, I drink over 3 liters of water a day. Like, a lot of water. Ridiculous amount of water.
I can barely drink, like, 3 cups a day of, like, anything.
Drink a lot of water.
I could never. Like,
It gets easier. Your body's made up of water. So
yeah,
drink it and nourish your body adjusts to it. And you just, like, it helps you function better. It's incredible, the difference I feel.
Who's going to start drinking more water? This person. This person right here.
Do it. It's so good for you. It's so good for you. I'm always yelling at my parents to drink more water because they do not drink enough. And they're like, why? We're supposed to be telling you to do this. Like, what? Yeah.
That's me. Like, I'll tell someone, like, oh, take care of yourself. And then I'll do, like, the exact opposite.
Right.
And then they'll be like, wait, didn't you just say? I'm like, okay, I take that back.
Never mind.
What's another good question?
I know, we're running out of time here.
I'm trying to, like, think of, like, a really nice question. Like, a really nice one.
Exit one. A final question. Let's think of it.
Okay. Let's think about this. Okay. Has there ever been a moment that you have felt a connection with something on the other side?
That's a tough one because every time I'm having activity occur, like intelligent activity, I feel a connection there, you know? And it's every time. So, I mean, like, there's really no isolated, like, oh, this was a stronger connection than this, because they're all pretty powerful in their own ways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Going back to the beef jerky comment, what's your favorite beef jerky flavor?
So I'm super boring, and I normally just do the original, but I really like the teriyaki one.
I get the originals and, like, the low salt or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's called.
So,
low sugar, low salt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really all I eat, so.
Me too. So good, though. I love it. I love it so much.
Agreed. I'm just trying to come up with, like, a really nice ender question, you know? Like,
it's okay. Take your time. You've got me another 4 minutes, so.
Have you ever had someone, like, follow you to an investigation?
Follow me to an investigation?
Yeah.
So, yes. Yes, I have. Especially like being a woman in the paranormal field, especially like in the public eye, kind of like I am in the way that I put out the paranormal content, like as like a show, you know what I mean, and things like that. Just being a woman in the public eye, people seem to forget that we're humans and that we're people too, and they think that we're just like these figures on the computer screen and that like we don't have emotions, but we do. And I think like a lot of gentlemen forget that, especially with female investigators who are on these shows and do events and go and speak at paracons and, you know, whatever. So I've definitely had my fair share of unnecessarily creepy men who, you know, have followed me places, and that's why I now operate under the I never post about a place before I go to it, while I am there, until I leave. If it's like an investigation. If it's like an event or something like that, totally different because that's already out there for the public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But those are safety measures that I really like suggest for not even just women, but like anyone, you know, especially with what we're doing in the dark and all of that. Like you definitely want to be as safe as possible. So that's what I do now. I do not talk about where I am going before I go there. I don't talk about it or tag it while I'm there. And then after I leave and I am on the road, that is when I'm like, hey, I was just here. Yeah. But yes, I have had creepy people follow me, and it's very uncomfortable.
I feel ya. Like,
yeah.
Like, this is something that I really could never. Like,
that's why I train the MMA, though. It'll be a bad day for them. That's for sure.
You are going to kick their butt.
You know what? Only if I had to. Only if I had to. Unless it was an opponent, like, in a cage. If it was, like, real life, only if I had to.
Yeah. Like, for me, I could never hurt anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's, like, in a picking on way, and they know that it's a joke.
That's been, like, one of my biggest hurdles that my coach is like, Melody, you need to actually, like, hit me in the face. Punch me in the face. And he's like, don't stop just before. Don't go to the side. You need to punch into the face. And I'm like, okay. That was like the hardest hurdle for me to like get over in MMA. I'm like, oh no, we're actually punching each other. You're actually contacting. I don't know why. For some reason that didn't connect for me, but.
We're fighting?
Yeah.
We're not guessed.
Thought it was fake fighting. Oh, no.
Oh, my.
But thank you so much for having me on tonight, Madison. It was so great.
Yeah, like, it was really fun, I've got to admit. Like, really good show.
I'm so glad I was finally able to meet you and chat with you, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Same.
Yay. So, thank you again.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, I'm starting to see the Shadow Man rounding the corner, telling me that our time is almost over. So I'd really like to thank you for coming on, chatting with me and my listeners here on Spoopy Talk. And you just have a great night, all right?
Yeah, you too.
And before I end this all, would you like to give out your social medias where people can find you or anything?
Yeah, so you can find... Oh, no. I think my window closed. Never mind. Sorry, guys. Difficulties. So the team that I currently film with is called the Ghost Finders, which you can find on Facebook. On Instagram, you can find us at the Ghost Finders channel. which I believe is also on Twitter. You can find me on social media at melody.knapp or paranormalmelodyknapp.com. So thank you.
Very nice. All right. So now for all my listeners out there, I'd really like to say thank you for being with me tonight. My next show will be February 20th, and my special guest will be Tessa Delzapo Groff. Make sure if you're not following me, give me a follow at Madison Paranormal Investigation on Facebook and Maddie_Paranormal_Investigation on Instagram. So for tonight, peace, love, and happiness, and most of all, be spoopy, everyone.